never went to one event at that school. I know this from one of her teachers. She never went to one event at except her graduation. So for all we know, it could have been an imitation of life thing. And there's my nanny.
God, shocking. Now, the thing is, Lady C, though, every single project at the moment that they touch just
hey, y'all, come look at this.
Goes horribly wrong. And the latest was the launch of the Parents Network, which may have been another factor behind Josh Kettler's departure, of course, because they were expecting this to be a big hit. But it really wasn't. And actually, it shows you how much their stock has fallen, that they give the first interview, and I want to look at some of the key moments from that interview to get your reaction actually in just a moment, but they deliver their first joint interview.
Are you serious?
Lady C, since Oprah Winfrey, which stopped the world. It may have stopped the world for all of the wrong reasons, but it did stop the world. And actually, there was just a bit of a dismissive shrug.
You had an experience.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
That connects you to these families. And I see you touch your husband's hand in just the way I knew that you would be looking after each other if I went places. But the connection that you have with people is they know you had suffered too, personally. Contemplating killing yourself is what suicidal ideation was. And I'm dancing around this because I can see you're uncomfortable with my even going there. Do you?
Fact.
I understand why you are, though. I wasn't expecting it, but I understand why you are, because there is a through line, I think. And when you've been through any level of pain or trauma, I believe part of our healing journey, certainly part of mine, is being able to be really open about it. And I haven't really scraped the surface on my experience, but I do think that I would never want someone else to
hey, y'all, come look at this.
Feel that way. And I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans, and I would never want someone else to not be believed. So if me voicing what I have overcome will save someone, or ask,
So that was a lie.
or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely check in on them and not assume that the appearance is good so everything's okay, then that's worth it. I'll take a hit for that.
You have.
She wasn't happy, Lady C, was she? Fact. But a little veiled threat there too. I've only just scraped the surface. I guess there's much more coming in her book. What did you make of it?
Well, I thought the whole thing was laughable. I actually thought that Jane Pauley was very good. I actually think that whole thing was very carefully scripted. I do not believe that Jane Pauley for 1 second surprised her. I think that it was even
hey, y'all, come look at this.
Scripted where she was supposed to touch Harry's hand, and Harry refused to give her his hand. And Jane Pauley went with the script, even though she was aware. Now, Dan, you're a professional.
Fact.
You would actually, if you wanted to rescue the person, you would amend the script. Oh, I see, she had touching his knee. She didn't. She said hand. I thought that Jane Pauley,
wait for it,
who incidentally has had huge problems with manic depression and suicidal tendencies. So I think she was as convinced about Meghan's suicidal ideation as I was. And when I was growing up as a teenager and I was as trapped as I was, I had to face the fact that suicide might actually end up being the only valuable alternative to solving my problems. So, and also I am an ambassador for SOS Silence of Suicide, which Michael Mansfield, the famous advocate, created because his daughter died from suicide. And I mean, it's a hugely important topic. And to have this little, filthy little artificial scrubber pretending that she has had suicidal ideation when it's quite obvious.
Wait for it.
She hasn't. First of all, if you have at all contemplated suicide, you don't smile while talking about it.
No.
It is truly offensive that you would be smiling while talking about it. And this faux nobility.
Fact.
Oh, I'm going to take a hit for people. I mean, she's taking a hit for. It is so offensive. But she's
taking a hit for lying, isn't she? That's what she's taking the hit for. That's the only criticism that she's had. We know she's lying.
Yeah. But she's pretending that she's setting herself up to be reviled because she's so noble. She is what she had GB News or wherever else you were before to interview people that you didn't particularly want to interview, but you then do it as well as you can and as professionally as you can. But I think she made sure.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
So she got her digs in. It reminded me of Alison P. Davis with The Cut. Remember that interview with Meghan?
Oh, yes.
Cut, where she just quoted Meghan and let Meghan hang herself with her words.
Exactly.
And
she gave her the rope, and we realised what a mad woman we were dealing with. But also, Lady C, the thing that offended me most, actually, was the complete lack of...
Wait for it.
...any obvious empathy or sympathy or emotion that Harry and Meghan had with the parents who were sitting next to them, literally baring their soul. And there was one moment that actually really summed that up.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Have a watch.
In his hand, the phone. That's how addicted he was. He couldn't even kill himself without posting about it first.
And like the Dollies, it's often impossible for parents or anyone else to see.
Just no humanity there, Lady C.
Colder than ice. Look, I've had my eyes done. Check out my new eyes. Yeah. And I've got my Catherine wig on, which also covers up the fact that my scars might show. So because notice no white parting in with the brown face. And I'm going to show everybody how great I look. And who's that Casa woman speaking about her son having topped himself? Who cares? I mean, come on. You're here to look at me.
Stop it.
Me. I'm the fabulous one. I mean, the woman is an offense to humanity.
And why is Harry so miserable, Lady C? He barely spoke during that interview.
Wait for it.
He was cold. Is he really that unhappy, or had something specifically gone wrong that day to put a bee in his bonnet? Although we're seeing it a lot, actually, lately, aren't we?
Well,
here it comes.
I need to be careful what I say, Dan. But the whole business of the suicide ideation is something that Harry is fully aware of, being a very dangerous area, let's put it that way, or a very dangerous topic. And he will not have known about it because he is fully aware of the dangers inherent in discussing that. And he when she put her hand on his knee, there's no doubt in my mind that it was
almost there.
Very scripted and agreed, because as you know, interviewers and interviewees are briefed as to exactly what to say and how to say it and when to say it. But she will have said, "Oh, it's okay, Harry."
Are you serious?
Harry will do it. Well, Harry didn't do it. because Harry didn't. I understand that Harry is very mindful that too many of us know the reality of
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
what has happened in certain situations, and that the one thing they should not be focusing on is why Meghan would lay claim to being suicidal, because Meghan should not be laying claim.
What is he doing?
To being suicidal, because she's laid claim to being suicidal on the 16th of January, having been at Birkenhead on the 14th of January, and he is fully aware of the fact that the dates don't match up, that with their various claims in terms of I was curled up in a ball and one chair left time. H had to get me up, and I didn't want to go, but I had to go. And he knows that there are many of us who are on to the whole reality of what happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And including, by the way, Lady C, the fact that she claims that she was sobbing in the middle of the Royal Albert Hall, sitting in the royal box, but no one saw and no one took a photo. I mean, just complete baloney.
Yes,
Complete
the lights
baloney.
were never dimmed enough. She never had her makeup mod.
No.
And if you zero in on them, she was with her smirk, the constant smirk.
Okay.
That she adopts when look at me, I'm so great and grand. And also, if I smirk like this, I look whiter. While if my face relaxes, it's too African in presentation. And having gone to the trouble of having all that plastic surgery, I'm certainly not gonna do anything but keep a little straight. Thanks.
At the same time, Lady C, Harry's decided to go to war with his own dad via People magazine, classless and particularly grim, given, and I know you're always careful about this, but given we know King Charles's
Wait for it.
health is not improving, put it that way, why on earth did he do something like this, Lady C?
Well, their marriage and their lives are in a mess. And here
it comes.
My reading of the situation is that he's pulling both north and south, and so he's very conflicted. And he and she
Almost there.
She most likely feel they have a limited amount of time in which to accomplish that which they can accomplish, chief of which is the restoration of their IPP status. And what they don't seem to realize is even if Charles could, which he can't, get it restored, because he can't, he doesn't have the authority.
He'd have to overturn a government decision, and that would lead to a constitutional
You serious?
crisis. Like, it's not even in his command to do it.
That's right. But even if he could, it can be reversed as soon as William is on the throne.
Oh, and it would be.
I would be very surprised if William is going to take as tolerant a view as Charles has taken. And Charles, as we all know, has actually stopped speaking to his son. Now, you and I have known this for some time, and you and I have been saying this for some time, and contradicting Harry and Meghan's stories that were planted in People and Vanity Fair, etc. Oh, we're regular Zoomers. Oh, every week we're Zooming with William and Catherine. And
right.
Blah, 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 all rubbish. Well, they finally confessed via People that Charles won't speak to him. So, you know.
That doesn't make sense.
They're not exactly and on the back of that, they are trying to force Charles to speak to him by briefing in the most appalling way against him to American
Are you serious?
publications. I mean, it's absolutely.
It's just so grim. It's so grim. But I'm delighted they have confirmed it, and I'm delighted that Charles refuses to speak to him. I don't think he should speak to him at the moment, given the
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
pressures on his health and the stress that Harry's calling him. I think it's much better that Charles is not speaking to him, if I'm honest.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I absolutely couldn't agree more. And also, you know, treachery is not an accidental quality.
Indeed.
It is a character flaw.
Indeed.
And Harry has shown himself to be treacherous. And nobody in their right mind would actually trust Harry. So the fact that his father and his brother want to have little or nothing to do with him, because with Harry was always a problem, but he was hot-headed but somewhat good-hearted. He's now hot-headed and hard-hearted.
Yeah.
Meghan's influence has destroyed that part of his personality, which was ameliorating and that was somewhat humane. She's destroyed it, and they are on a rampage together.
Okay. Yeah. Now.
Sorry, Dan, I'm sorry, man. I'm sniffling because I think Aurora's fur seems to be bothering me. But they are on a rampage.